Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Nellie, I'm Nell.
And I'm Lee.
And today I'm going to put Alicia to the test now. So I don't know if you guys watched our other video of when Alicia put me to the test for if I could pass a CNA PCA test. So go check that video out to see if I did pass or not.
We'll see if she's been a good or bad patient.
Yeah. I figured today I would make her talk a little bit about herself.
Dun, dun, dun.
I am going to interview her.
Okay.
So I figured it would be a good video if Alicia talked about dating while being disabled. Like, for me, I could just go out on a date, whatever. For Alicia, there's things that she needs to think about before she goes on dates, while she's on dates, after dates, before dates.
True.
So I thought maybe we would get into that and see what it's like for someone who is disabled to date.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
So I'm going to be asking her some questions. Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to get personal up in here.
Yeah, and everything that I do here is more of my own personal experience and what I do, or the challenges that I may experience may be different from somebody else that is disabled, but these are many common things that I feel.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you who are disabled could totally relate.
Yeah.
Before we get into this video though, if you guys want to give it a like and subscribe.
Click that bell, baby.
So you don't miss out on an upload.
Ding ding.
Alright, here we go. Okay, Alicia's in the hot seat.
I'm nervous for this one.
Alright, ready?
Yeah.
I have my questions here.
Okay.
What is a good experience versus a bad experience of a date?
Okay. So for me, a good experience would be like going on a date and I wouldn't want to go and eat.
No.
Or do anything that makes me feel already more uncomfortable than I'm already feeling vulnerable, you know what I mean?
Which already is so different from a typical date, because usually it's like, let me take you to dinner.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I want to just be able to communicate. I think it's really important for anybody going on a date, but especially for somebody who is disabled, because there's a lot that that person needs to learn about that person, kind of right away.
Right.
To know if this is actually something that they want to get involved in, that they're willing to make certain sacrifices in the relationship, and if it's something else that they want to pursue.
Right.
So I would say, like, you know, maybe go get a coffee at a cute cafe. Maybe like go to a zoo or something, go talk and look at animals, or
I want to go to the zoo.
Yeah, something like I said, that we can just sit down, be casual, and get to know one another would be like a good first date.
And then, what would be like a bad experience of a date?
I would say a bad experience would be like going out to dinner. You know, I need my food chopped, I need a straw, I need help, you know, drinking out of a cup. And yeah, it's okay to ask somebody for help, but I think on the first date, you don't want to be like,
can you do this, can you do that?
Making him be your personal care assistant, you know?
Versus a date.
A date.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
those are the things I try to avoid.
Right.
When I were to go out on a date and whatever.
Yeah, makes sense.
And also, in the past, I've had guys be like, oh, let me come pick you up, I have a nice car, da-da-da-da, I can put you in my front seat. And all that is very sweet, very kind and thoughtful. But because of my situation and the way I sit, I need to drive in a van always. So it can get complicated with being taken somewhere.
So it's better to meet somewhere.
Yeah, usually it's better to meet in the beginning, and then if the relationship pursues, they can drive my vehicle if they want, or we can figure that out in the future. But,
because you have driven in the front seat in...
Yeah, so my ex-husband's car is like a hatchback, and I would lay in the front seat, and he made it, accommodating for me. But that took time.
It did, yeah.
And eventually that worked out for us.
Right.
But everybody's different, So, yeah.
All right, number 2. What are some things you avoid when considering dating someone?
This is a good question, and kind of quite humorous. I've been on dating apps and everything, and I've talked to plenty of
Yes,
men.
yes, she has.
And
I'm telling you, they always hit her up, guys.
No, but the first question is usually, do you have feeling down there? Or, just like, it goes straight from the brain to down there, you know what I mean? And obviously that's not how I want to start off a relationship, by them asking me that question first. Obviously that's the only thing on their brain.
Mm-hmm. True.
And eventually, that's something that can be discussed later down the road.
It's
but
true. You have had that question a lot.
Yeah, I know. I give them credit for being bold, but it's not something that you want to be approached with right away. I would say the second thing I would avoid is somebody that's not in the same faith as me.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried that. Doesn't work. And for me, when you're not in our faith, it's called unequally yoked, and if you're not having the same principles and morals and values coming together, you begin to separate, and it just doesn't work. Having a God-fearing man in my life is really important to me, and in just every aspect of my life. So I think if we can grow together spiritually, we can overcome anything with God's help.
Yeah.
You can say that you're a Christian, and I've done this. I am guilty of this years ago, and thought I was living a life following Christ, but it's a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
It's dying to your old ways and taking on new ways that God puts on your heart to do. And
Alicia's a seasoned Christian.
She
needs a seasoned one too. I'm just kidding.
Yes. And, there's been nice guys that have, really wanted to take me out on dates. And, I think they're really incredible people. But it's just, I need that part.
Mm-hmm.
That's like,
Of course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Question number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Are there times you are afraid of getting taken advantage of?
Yeah, for sure. That's actually one of my biggest fears, is just being taken advantage of. It's very easy to, for even a normal-bodied woman to, be taken advantage of. So I'm trying to be even extra cautious when it comes to dating, especially somebody that I've never even met before.
Mm-hmm.
I will usually ask the person if they feel comfortable doing a double date first.
True.
With Janelle and her husband.
Yes, we've been on a lot of double dates.
Right.
In the past.
Yeah, and I think it's important because if they're willing to do that, that means that they're willing to really get to know me and they respect my trust.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say issues, but just respect that I need to earn somebody's trust.
Mm-hmm.
As far as being vulnerable.
I wouldn't let Alicia go out on a first date by herself anyway.
No.
Even if I have to sit in the booth behind her and sneak.
And become popcorn behind.
Yeah.
That's happened before.
Yes, it has happened before. So all you future men, just know I'm out there. I'm watching.
I see rude. No, yes, just being extra cautious. I've even gone to the point where, I do look them up on the internet, and I do try to get a little background on them, Not because I'm psycho or anything, but just because.
But it's definitely worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia has found some dirt on some people.
Oh, man.
Like, what? Mind blown. Is this the same person you've been talking to? Yeah.
So, and, you know, you can't always believe everything on the internet, too. Everybody has a story for certain situations. But if they're obvious and scary, then you stay away.
Mm-hmm. For sure. How do you feel safe enough to date?
For me, like I said, just knowing that the man has faith in Christ makes me feel more at ease, and
That's a big one.
knowing that he relies on God for wisdom and how he treats a woman, and I won't have to worry as much because I know that those principles are instilled in him, so I know that I'll be treated correctly. Another thing is to, I think, just allowing, like I said, that communication and letting me, if I'm asking somebody something and they get defensive and don't want to answer, then I know right there, that's a red flag. Then you already have something to hide from me. Openness and honesty is always the number one policy. I think for any relationship, you always want to start off on a clean slate. And as far as like going out on a date, I would definitely want to be in a public place where I'm around a lot of people, if anything were ever to happen.
So you're not just going to go to the person's house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also I don't want to put the stigma that just because someone says they're a Christian and has God doesn't mean that they could be just saying that either. So you always have to be careful, no matter what. And I try to always have my cell phone, at my reach, so that if I were to like call Janelle, even on the morning, God forbid, but
we'll have to get Alicia little spikes that come out of her chair. She can clip people's ankles. Just kidding.
Be like, I'll clip that tendon. If you get anywhere near me. No.
So, being a disabled woman, what are some insecurities that you might have?
That's something I constantly work on daily with God, and I try to see myself in His image. I know that I'm beautiful in His eyes. But it doesn't mean that it's a struggle. Even with my own body, it's really hard to look in the mirror sometimes and think like, oh, my body's crooked, I have scoliosis, and I'm not like developed in the way I would like to be, or be able to be attractive in the way that a man may look at a woman and be like, wow, she's really beautiful. I think everybody struggles with that feeling insecure.
It's just from the enemy.
Right.
Completely.
It is. It's all lies in your head. Because when somebody really loves you, they love you for the inside and not what's on the outside.
Yeah. And it's our own thoughts and our own pressures and our own way of thinking that makes us.
Yeah, and the pressure of society and just constantly comparing yourself like on Instagram or this or that. And even growing up, like, I'll admit, like I told Janelle this before, like, we'd be at the beach and now in their bikinis and I'm just like trying to hide myself, and but as soon as I like didn't care anymore and just went out and did my thing,
you lived it up.
I can't help who I am and what my body looks like. And, if there's a man that is willing to love it, then so be it. And if not, hey, that's okay,
Yep.
And also, I think being at eye level with a man, a few men have bent down and became eye level with me, and they just thought how kind that was and considerate.
Yeah, wow.
To really.
Yeah, I wouldn't even think of that.
Yeah, like, they made it a point to communicate with me so that we can look each other in the eyes,
True gentleman.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's really important and really kind. And then, like, just stares. People stare.
Yeah. Little
But,
kids, adults, kids and their
Yeah.
mothers. I mean,
you know, and I understand. I honestly, staring has never really bothered me. You know, I've just always given them a smile and a hello, and usually they break. You know, then they'll smile.
sometimes we've gotten a little feisty when we were growing up.
Yeah,
if we
they
saw
like,
people staring.
Take a picture.
Yeah, we'd be like, "You like what you see?"
Yeah.
or something, you know.
You make it last longer.
Yeah.
No, but yeah.
that rare occasions, yeah, that's
Yeah.
just us being silly.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, usually she just ignores it.
Honestly, I just try to kill people with kindness.
Yep.
That's all you can do. If you're gonna let all these little things make you, you know, you'll drive yourself nuts.
Sometimes I don't even think people really realize that they stare.
No.
It's like they've never been in a situation where they can just pass it off.
It's true.
You know? So I feel like even this video is a good idea because it gets other people to think like, oh yeah, maybe I should be more cautious and not
It's
stare.
true, you know.
Teach your
Be
children not to
considerate.
stare, you know, like.
Mhm. And it's okay to be observant. You can look for a minute and be like, oh, you know, but to continue.
Like
to,
that one little boy who came up to you. He was
Yes.
so cute. He
Yeah.
went right up to Alicia and he was like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
And he was, you know.
His name was Geronimo.
That's right. Wow.
Yeah, and he was the cutest little boy. He's like, can I touch your leg?
Yeah,
And they let him, you know,
Yeah.
because you know what? Kids are inquisitive,
Right.
and that's what they need to do. They need to learn. They need to be
Yep.
tactile.
Yeah.
And-
so true. So, what are some things that you would have to bring on a first date that I wouldn't have to?
Okay, so I always bring some straws, plastic forks and spoons in case we eat something. You know.
It's true because a lot of restaurants and stuff, they don't give bendy straws.
No.
They're always the straight ones.
Yep.
And you need the bendy ones.
Definitely,
Yeah.
I definitely need that. The silverware is usually way too heavy
Yep.
for me to lift and enjoy a meal. I usually bring my water because I have stomach
True.
acid and it helps me just feel better. I use a specific alkaline water. I have to make sure I don't drink too much because on a date I don't want to have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, true. Yeah.
On the first days are gonna, you know.
Tell me,
Mm.
what was the worst date that you've ever been on?
Oh no. Okay, I have two.
Oh boy, okay.
So, one time I was out to dinner and we were getting food, and the person that I was with, the waitress, asked the person that I was with what I wanted to eat.
I remember
And
the
I
story.
was like, I'm right here, like, you know, and the person I was with was like, she didn't speak for
Herself?
herself, and we definitely embarrassed the waitress. The waitress kind of just like kept looking at me like she should talk.
Oh boy.
And it's funny how like people will automatically make that assumption
right.
that like because I'm in a wheelchair I can't speak, or
Hmm.
you know, it's weird that
Yeah.
they would think that. But
And that had to have been embarrassing.
yeah, I mean it was.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But yeah, but we kind of just like brushed it off.
Because by
and-
that point, you and him were
Mhm.
fine, right?
Right,
You
it was
were
good.
comfortable with him.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Could you imagine that happening on a first date, though?
Yeah. I was like, The second one was, I was like 19, and I met this guy at the mall, and
Was I there?
no,
What?
I know you weren't there. Bailey, no, yeah, Bailey went,
Okay,
I think,
that makes sense.
this time, yeah. Bailey, you remember this.
Oh boy.
He was like super into me, and I wasn't used to that because I was like, well, this guy like really likes me or whatever, and we met up, but he was definitely not somebody I would date, okay? No, and I met him through a mutual friend, kind of,
Okay.
and we started talking, and like, I knew that I wasn't really that into him,
Yeah.
but I thought, oh, you know, it's nice, he wants me to go to the mall and meet up with him at the mall, whatever. But he kept like taking off and like going and buying me like little
A little chocolate?
And like he would like go and be like, "Do you want me to get you food?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm not that hungry." And he'd be like, "Well, I'm gonna go to the cafeteria." And then he would come back and he would
Lee,
like,
she sounds like a catch. Come on.
No.
Chocolate food. I'm just
no, he wasn't. Because trust me, there was other things
Yeah.
I had to worry about. So that was sweet. But then he brought a friend too. So it was like awkward, and they kept like taking off and like going to like the video game place and just doing things that I was like, is this a date or are we like, what are we doing?
Yeah. So it didn't really feel like a date.
Right.
Yeah.
So I ended up going into the store with my friend, and I saw a guy from high school there. And we're talking away, and like we're, reminiscing. And the guy that I was on a date with ends up finding me, and as he finds me, the guy I'm reminiscing with is like, "Here's my number, give me a..."
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, he wasn't around. That's not much of a date. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He had a black shirt on, and he wanted to give me a hug goodbye, and he squeezed me tight, and my whole side of my profile of my face was on his shirt.
Oh my goodness. Did he notice?
Not then. I was
Were you just like, see ya?
I was like, bye. So, yeah. Yeah.
So, if any of you guys want to take Lily on a date, you can DM me on Insta. Link in description below.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be funny.
But yeah, no, I think that's all the questions I have.
Yeah, and I would just love, if anybody has their own experiences, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I mean, we hope you guys enjoyed this little video. If you want to hear more of our stories and things like that or questions,
let us know. And thank you guys so much for watching. We love you guys.
Yes, and we love you, and God bless.